So this book is my second for adult readers. And I knew that my publisher was going to want something that had some like relation in terms of vibes and feel to the In-Between Bookstore, which is sort of very book club fiction, but sort of with a speculative twist. And the bookstore is kind of its own character in the In-Between Bookstore. So when I was thinking about the House of Now and Then, I knew that I really wanted to write a summer beach read. I think I don't feel like I totally started publishing with this in mind, but now I feel like I have it a little bit that I just want to take every single like commercial genre and stick trans and queer people in it. Um, so I wanted to write like a summer beach read that felt like, this sort of quintessential summer drama beach book, but make it gay. And I've spent time on Cape Cod. I love Cape Cod as a setting. I feel like it feels like almost like its own literary trope that there's like so much stuff set there. Um, and then I liked this idea of a sort of a summer escape again. Like I think, like in the In-Between Bookstore, honestly, like Harlow, the main character, is looking for an escape from his current life. He's like gone through this big breakup. He's got to move out of his apartment, and he's just like, okay, I'm going to go rent this house on Cape Cod for a summer and figure out what I'm doing with my life. And then he gets there and he walks into the house and it he discovers that there's someone from his past in every single room, and they're sort of reliving moments from their shared history together on loop. So my agent actually jokingly called this book for a while the therapy house, because it's a little bit like about, the things that you kind of need to let go of in order to move on and to figure your life out. It's also, sort of has a little bit of time travel. It also has a romance in it. So I was kind of picking a lot of these things that I like out of commercial books, sort of the summer beach read, the summer romance, these speculative elements, uh, and sort of squashing them together in this book. And I feel like, sort of like much like New York feels like this place where sort of anything can happen. I feel like Cape Cod, every time I'm there, feels to me like a place where time slows down. It sort of exists a little bit out of the busyness of normal life. Everyone moves at a different pace there. There are these like beautiful sunsets and big skies and big stretches of ocean. So it sort of felt like a natural setting for when you need to have a character slow down in their life and try to figure out what they're doing next and have a sort of experience that is slightly magical of like, you know, I'm seeing these people from my past, what's going on? I always want it to be like a little bit funny too. Like, so for example, his ex that he just broke up with, there's like the ghost version of him stuck in the bathroom. I was like, what's the worst possible place you could have your ex stuck? It would probably be the bathroom. Um, but I think like whenever I think about setting, I do always want it to be adding something to the story. There has to be a reason that the characters need to be there. Like that's the only place that they can figure out, what they need. And the in-between bookstore is also sort of about this like going from the big city to the small hometown and like which do you belong in. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think like the House of Now and Then, I was sort of like interested in that same idea, but I wanted the reverse answer to be true at the end. Um, so yeah, it's just like it's a beautiful place, and it felt really nice to write a story that took place over the summer when everything sort of slows down and gets lazy, but you also get to like put in all of the flavor of a specific place like Cape Cod. So you get like the 4th of July fireworks and you get the crowds in Provincetown and all of that stuff. It just like adds a lot of personality, I think. I tend to usually base places that I write about on real places, but I disguise them. So in the House of Now and Then, there is absolutely this store called Queer Punks, which is kind of based on a real establishment in Provincetown that's just got a very bunch of very like weird bumper stickers and t-shirts and whatever. There's a coffee shop that's again fictional, but based on a real run in Provincetown. So there are some things where I think if you know the Cape, if you've been there, you could probably kind of look around and go like, oh, I sort of have an idea of where this is. But at the same time, like for the House of Now and Then, I never actually like I say kind of what the house is close to, but I never say exactly where it is. And um, I kind of like wanted that to be slightly intentional because it is sort of a magical house, and there's sort of like a joke in there that nobody can find it. Like Google Maps doesn't know where it is if you try to put the house in. Um, so I usually I like it if the setting can sort of feel like it plays into the story like that. So that yeah, in that case, it's not an actual location, although it is on the outer cape, sort of close to Provincetown.